Y'all jingle belled me here today at AMS?
I can tell by your silence that was not a good idea. Like ice pick.
So kids, what did we learn today? Less is more.
Yeah, sometimes.
Hello, and welcome to a very jolly edition of Game of Tones, the game where our contestants compete to see who can recreate the guitar tone of a mystery song the most accurately. I'm your host, Kelly Onatelli. Santa said I could fulfill a few Christmas wishes for you guys. So Russ, if you could have any musician in the world as your partner for Game of Tones, who would it be?
That's an easy one. I'm actually gonna go with Mark Lettieri. Oh, jeez. That's my choice right there. Thank you very much for the wish.
Good choice. What about you, Ryan?
Well, Stevie Ray Vaughan, of course.
Santa says pick someone living.
Cory Wong.
No! Here we go.
How does that happen?
I've received specific instructions from the big guy up north to make sure our contestants follow a few simple rules during our game today. Each team will get to hear the song a limited number of times before we see who lands a spot on the nice list. They can choose as many pedals as they want, but they get one mulligan, meaning they can swap out or bypass pedals after their initial selection.
I don't even know if I have to introduce Cory Wong. If you don't know who he is, check out, how many bands are we in now?
Really, 3?
Oh, just 3, yeah. And all over YouTube.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
I'm feeling good. I don't really know what's happening. I see what looks like a large Christmas gift, and it feels like there are guitar pedals underneath it. So, what are we doing?
Well, I'm not hopped up on electrolytes like you are, so it's a little harder for me. And I also don't get to play guitar today, which is good because my track record is 0-2 in Game of Tones. So I'm hoping that you'll be the magic luck charm for me today. But we're gonna listen to a song. I have no idea what's under here. We're just gonna tear it off. We're gonna hear the song and we're gonna replicate the tone of that song based on whatever pedals you choose. And
With my guitar and with this amp.
Yeah, and if you want to change your guitar up, we can do that too. That looks like you're pretty comfortable with that one. So.
I am comfortable with this one.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yes.
It's got your name on it. By the way.
It does.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
All right, guys, it's my turn. I am here today with Mark Lettieri, and Mark is gonna take this home for us. I absolutely have all the faith in the world in him.
Champion written all over his face right here.
It must be known that the first 2 episodes,
Yeah.
I have won both of those episodes.
Oh, okay, no pressure.
So you taking the lead here
Dynasty.
is gonna give me the Dynasty, the Triple Crown,
Okay.
and I feel good about that.
Let's do it.
All right, so from what I understand here, same rules apply. Mark and I are gonna have the opportunity to listen to whatever you're throwing at us. Mark's gonna do his thing. I'm just here to kind of spectate, narrate, whatever rate. Here we go.
Let's do it.
All right, you ready to hear the tone?
Play it.
Let's hear the song. Wooden sleigh bells there.
Very festive.
Are we thinking that's an auto wah or like a wah wah?
That's a real wah. Jingle bells?
Yes.
Y'all jingle belled me here today at AMS?
Maybe a little phase. Really slow, but I could be out of there. Pretty clean.
Reverb.
I was gonna say even from a reverb.
Sounds like an old Supro amp or something like that.
Smaller amp than a Super, but I'll fix that with the Tone Master wattage. It's like a fuzzy driving amp. I would guess I would probably pick a Princeton reverb or like a little tweed.
Maybe a little bit of drive, but that sounds like amp drive,
Yeah.
not pedal drive.
Which I know you can get out of.
There's like a low wattage. Well, I mean, you could put that on the low wattage and
super
turn
reverb?
it up maybe, or maybe one of the victories. I don't know.
Some of the victories you could dial them down.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not very wet. Definitely wah.
See, they like muted some. There like was a guitar playing, but they muted it. You can just kind of hear the bleed.
So are we thinking we're doing like some type of drive, a wah,
Yeah, a reverb.
and a reverb?
Maybe if there's a delay just for fun.
Okay.
I don't know. It sounds like it's right in your wheelhouse. I think you got this.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
We can cut the track.
Did we win?
Do you want to go with the PRS?
I mean, I can get that sound
Yeah.
just from splitting the humbucker.
We're already plugged in, man. The PRS
one
is
of the-
rocking. I think we stay with it.
I think we're gonna. I probably will do more of a dirtier, lower wattage amp. I don't know, or the. I could plug into the bass amp.
I feel like that would make for a good choice.
Or this
It's gonna
Bad Cat,
sink us
maybe.
or take us over.
Even maybe the Bad Cat.
Okay.
This doesn't sound like a closed back cabinet type of song, so
Right.
you all got like a Princeton reverb somewhere in the back or something like.
Broken fender.
Run around somewhere.
That'll
but not
work.
It's a reverb.
Oh,
It's a twin. Do you want to try the Bad Cat?
excuse me. Yeah. What the heck?
Okay.
I'm guessing just by the sound of it. I mean, little Meters Christmas vibe is
Definitely
what I'm
felt that.
I'm going with the Crybaby Wah, a very, very slow phaser, little bit of reverb, and I'm gonna try to get some fuzzy type drive out of the amp. The Tone Master Super Reverb, you can actually change the wattage on it. Right now I have it fully open, so it's loud and clean with a little bit of verb on there. The verb's a little too long for that, but that's fine. But I can change the wattage of the on there, so it'll.
So you can drive it harder and not blow
Yeah,
our
I can
heads
just.
off?
Oh, what? This is too much for you?
A little bit. I'm old. Oh, that's much better.
Nah.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, the problem is I'm gonna have to turn it up a little bit.
I'll go ahead, crank it. I don't care.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Sounds pretty good.
Man, if they have like an old Italian conductor Vox Wah, like the old
Is
school.
that on Santa's wish list?
Or the
Do we have that on
phasal.
there?
Picking up the big guy, no.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just hearing like an old or a color sound wah or something like the old wah.
Okay.
So that'd be cool. But any old wah will do.
And what about overdrive?
I don't know if we need one, because that's why I picked
You might
this.
just get it from the
because you
Bad
can
Cat?
get a lower, yeah, a little bit of a crunch. I mean, because I think
We can get enough of that from the amp itself.
I mean that's about as dirty as it sounded to me.
Yeah, no, I
And
agree.
That's just from hum. I mean, I guess I can keep the single coil and making this a little less bright. I'm not gonna make the amp as bright as the Seasons this year.
Oh, that sounds good. So you thinking reverb from the amp, or we'll
Yeah,
see
that's
what's
just
under
from the
hood?
amp. Still a little bright. We'll mess with it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I guess if there was an overdrive pedal, and we needed to have an overdrive pedal, I guess you could maybe do it with like a way huge red llama,
Okay.
or maybe like some kind of blues breaker circuit or something where you just turn the gain way down.
I think
It doesn't
odds
sound
are
like a
we'll have
tube
blues
screamer to
breaker
me,
underneath.
but
Nope. Blues breaker's a good chance. And then delay, we're thinking if we're gonna use it.
I would say like a carbon copy,
Okay.
something real
Good old
simple,
something
analog.
faithful.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we do a little uncovering?
Should we take a look what's under the blanket here?
Yep.
Yep, go for it.
That's it.
Now we're talking.
There we go.
All right, I'm gonna go. First thing in the chain is the wah. How many pedals do I get?
You can choose as many as you want. I'll be.
Yo, what is this? This looks dope.
Take it.
I will.
You can have
You
that.
saw it here.
Yeah. Enjoy that.
Somebody write it off. Oh, we'll leave it on here.
Yeah.
Really? This is the HX? You just get one.
That's it. It's everything all in one.
How have they not made this earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I had no idea this existed. I'm going, first thing in the chain is Crybaby. Second thing in the chain is the Wong compressor.
Of course it is.
What's the Sea Moon?
Sea Moon is like those 70s style kind of funk bass effects. You can use it on guitar as well. They sound really good. They look
That
good.
is one of the cooler looking pedals I've seen in a while.
And it's a funk machine. It makes funk.
Well, I'm gonna put it in the changes because I don't know what it does, and that means I get to try it.
And if it doesn't work, you can blame me. I'm your mulligan.
Well, what if I put them all in? Can I just put the whole thing
Yes.
in the chain? Okay. Well, I'm
Let's
gonna
do a
this.
dime bag wah instead.
Yeah. No.
I can tell by your silence that was not a good idea.
We give thanks. We respect. We give thanks to Dimebag. But
We absolutely do.
on here, this is definitely a crybaby.
Okay.
Univibe might be good to kind of
Because it's fun.
because it's fun, and I just put the tiniest amount of vibe on it. It might get us there.
I like it. But
Great pedal. Love the EQ.
yes.
Great pedal. The EQ on this. Actually, I'm going to put this one in. This mid knob does wonders.
Now, do you want to use that in lieu of any of these, or do you want to just do all of it?
I just want to do all of it.
Okay. Checkmate. Well done.
Actually, no, I want this.
I
right here.
thought that would be better too. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so
That
much
order.
better. That's all we need.
Instrument to amp, that way.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's your
See?
final selection? Santa's watching.
Oh.
I'm going to add this reverb just in case I don't like that reverb. This reverb's, I would say it's 0.5 seconds too long for me.
And this is a great this is like the ever-loving gobstopper of reverbs. There's everything you want in this box. So
All right.
if we can't get it out of that, then we're in the wrong business.
Let's go.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
some of these things I own.
All right.
Well, we have a reverb.
Yep. We also have your new wave. Not that we're going to use that.
Yeah. Oh, we got the dime bag wah.
All right,
I'll
we got
probably
two
choose the
wahs.
not dime bag wah.
So we got wah.
Yeah.
What driver you drifting to?
Well, I mean, there's a couple. I guess I could. It would be smart for me to plug my
Can
own.
you hold it and just do like the?
That is this one, which we could do.
Yeah.
Screw it. Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Okay. Well, I'll set the amp clean and then we'll use the pedal, just
I like it.
because I'm a salesman.
What about on the delay front?
Well,
This is
all we
inside the
have
mind
is,
of Mark Lettieri, by the way.
what am I looking at here? That's a delay.
Yeah, that's
Anything
a
else?
delay. The
Is this a
Surf
delay?
Rider has a little
This looks like a delay.
delay. ARP 87 is a delay.
Let's try this one.
Okay. Walrus Audio ARP 87.
Maybe. What's a sea moon?
Filter?
Cool.
Envelope
It's cool
filter?
looking, whatever it is.
So I think that they're trying to give us that option of are we going to do wah or are we going to do like
It definitely
an envelope
sounds like
filter?
a,
So wah it
foot
is.
wah to me.
So standard crybaby. We're going to say the melody,
Sure.
the ARP 87 delay,
Sure.
no compressor.
I don't think so. Is the idea of this to get as many of these sounds out of pedals as possible?
Just to get as close as
However it is that
possible.
we can get there.
Well, then I would really just use the wah into the amp. I wouldn't even mess with, I mean, and
Take
maybe the
that,
delay, but,
Ryan and Cory.
well, to me, that's what it sounds like it was recorded with.
Then that's
Like,
what we do.
I wouldn't even use a reverb pedal.
ARP
But if you
87.
need great overdrive, I highly recommend the J-Rocket Melody Overdrive by J-Rocket. It's the Mark Lettieri Overdrive, and this is the end of this particular commercial. But if you had a clean amp and you didn't have gain on the amp, I would turn the volume to about here and the gain to about right here. And you could boost a little bit of the mids here, and that would get you there. But
That's
for
beautiful.
today, I think we can do this with just the amp.
All right, we got the pedals going. I've changed some amp things. I got the amp set a lot different than I would normally do. Normally I like tons of clean headroom. I got the amp a little bit furry. I've got the EQ doing a little bit of work. I don't think it was a Stratocaster on the track. I think it's more in the telly realm, a little bit of a higher top and a thicker bottom, but fortunately this has a stacked humbucker in the bridge to help make that happen for us. Little compression. Blend it down a little bit. I think his is less compressed. I'm gonna add
Too wet.
I like the decay.
Yeah, it sounds good.
That's actually, I feel like that's pretty close. Potentially going to a spring. I have it on a plate setting right now, which
Do you want to hear the spring?
might as well.
What the hell?
I like the plate better.
Yep, same. And you were telling me about this. You said that obviously you know a lot about this pedal. What's some of the cooler functions that maybe someone who's new to that might want to find out?
Optimus pedal, there's an EQ section. You hit these two together, there's an EQ. Now, I was not hip to EQ until Brad Jackson was like, dude, let me give you this EQ pedal. It doesn't sound fun.
Oh, I love EQ.
Well, I know,
But
but
it's
if
not
you're
sexy.
like
You're right.
bass, mids, treble, it's like, I
Yeah.
got that right there.
Yeah.
But then you get an EQ pedal, there's these little tone shaping things, like when I have my sort of funk guitar sound, and then I use the mid knob. We put the mids knob in a really fun frequency range where I bump that, and it's kind of like instant Mayer tone
Okay.
out of the Strat. It shifts the Strat to be just kind of voiced more towards the way that his guitar is, or at least for my guitar, it's really cool. Two different overdrives, one a little more clawny, one a little more,
Like a tube screamer? Or?
yeah, a little more tube screamery.
Okay.
I think for this track, I'm just using this. Turn the. I think there's a little more top end on it that might just be.
Now, are you using the compressor at all to hit the amp harder, or are you just kind of smoothing everything out?
I'm
with
just smoothing it out.
that? Okay.
So here's full. Obviously, it turns it up a little bit,
Sure.
so it's.
Yeah, gives a
So I'm
little more.
pulling back a little. But really, the reason why I'm using the compressor is because I'm going to hit this wah, and a wah pedal. One of the things that always bugs me is all those peaks that are just like.
Like ice pick, yeah.
Yeah, that a compressor, especially the way that this one was, it takes it and it pulls a lot of the stuff that's really obnoxious, brings it down, but then it also kind of moves everything back up. So the way that this compressor, the way that we worked on this circuit, and Brian Wampler is a genius with
Yeah, he
this.
is.
I don't know how he just gets compression. Rather, a lot of compressors, it takes your sound and it just like thins it out. It makes it smaller.
Squashes it. Yep.
This one takes it and it's like, oh, we're gonna tame some of the top stuff and we're just gonna like put it in your face or something.
Right.
I don't. It's like a.
No, you're just kind of tweezing the tone like Zappa used to do. You're just kind of tweaking it to a point where you're not going too exaggerated one way or the other.
Yeah.
And if you had a bad backline, that's the kind of pedal that could save your gig.
Yes.
Between that
exactly.
and this. So.
Yep. Yep. Okay, and then the wah I think is the most obvious one. I think they're in there.
And that's a straight up crybaby? Nothing fancy?
You're the one that gave it to me.
Oh. Well, I was asking you. I thought you brought it.
Santa brought it.
Oh. Yeah.
Santa brought it.
Yeah, it's
Got
nice.
special new,
this is
new old
a
stock germanium transistors.
Model GCB 95.
Oh yeah, that's a regular old crybaby.
You know, it's like your favorite Dead album. Yeah, this is like DMB Live in Chicago where Victor Wooten and Maceo Parker sit in. That's the Crybaby version that we're looking at here.
It's a limited run.
I'm gonna give a little more blend on this. Now we also were
got
trying
some
to get
color,
fun.
yeah.
We were trying to get fun. Too much,
Yeah,
too much phase.
Right.
Definitely slower.
Yeah.
Let's turn up the blend all the way to see what it's doing, and then we'll pull back.
So yeah, you can go full on affected and
I mean,
that
that's
sounds
dope.
really good.
That's dope.
That's exactly it. Now, do you want to? You ever flick this now?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, just hold on.
That's a
And then-
dope phase.
Or you want to try it without it again? I think for this purpose, we keep it down. What do you think?
I think if we're trying to get this down, I would blend less of this, but let's see what else we got. Is there not a mix knob on this?
There it is.
I like this. I would just use less mix.
Got it. So this is more like envelope filter, kind of Jerry Garcia in a box.
Cool pedal not on the track though.
Got it.
Between the phaser and Univibe, I just want less of it. This is like, there's phaser. That one's like, is there phaser?
Well, what if we?
So I needed to get to the point where it's like, is there a phaser? This one right now, it's like, there is a phaser.
Right, like, but if you turned it off, you would notice a difference if it wasn't there.
So make it, is there a phaser?
That's a phaser. I mean, that's almost fairly minimal as we have it set now. It's pretty minimal.
It's subliminal.
Is that what you're going for? Or
I think that's, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just like,
just a whisper of it there. You would miss it if it wasn't
there's
there.
like something on there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like comb filtering from bleed in the room or something, you know, that like causes.
Yeah, there's no pedal that does that yet.
Yeah, I know. It's like
Yeah.
just proximity of microphones where it's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like they're kind of out of phase,
Roll.
but it sounds cool. Like, who cares?
Yeah, because we got to
You
go
know?
get tacos. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's like this right now. That's what we need to do is like, I don't know. Is it doing anything?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a dope pedal, but we need it to not really,
Look, it's going in.
we need to not be able to see it when we close our eyes.
Okay. Don't look at it.
I did request Ernie Ball braided cables only, and I see one,
You had
two,
one
three-
job.
three unbraided cables. So that might be messing with the tone a little bit.
We'll play under, and you're in that bypass switch on your guitar where it just goes to position 4. Is that what you're on now, or?
I think first, stacked humbucker. Stacked humbucker. It's the secret humbucker. The thing about Strats, I love the look of single coils, but I like the sound of a humbucker in the bridge. It's just a classic look.
You gonna drill that out and put a humbucker in there? Come on.
I mean, they do it.
Oh, well, a lot of people do it, yeah. This Van Halen kid, apparently,
Mark did it there.
Yeah,
Looks cooler on that. There's no pick guard though. It's a different thing, different shape. It's like, I'm down with a humbucker. I'm down with a humbucker.
Is it
on
full
a Strat?
humbucker all the time? Or can you dilate it? Could you coil split that if you wanted to, or you don't want to?
You don't want to.
Okay, I
The
might.
thing about a humbucker is the bridge pickup of a Strat is amazing when it's a little bit thicker. Sometimes you're playing along, it's like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey guys, like I'm down here, but like I'm way high on the EQ spectrum too. It's like, let's,
Well, and that's why, honestly, about a Strat.
we're getting into Alp.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
your territory,
But
Kelly.
it should have a tone control on the bridge pickup, which traditionally it doesn't. So that doesn't make any sense.
The way that we solve that is we put a stacked humbucker in the bridge.
Uh-huh.
It still looks correct.
Yes.
And it just thickens up the thing.
Sounds fantastic to me.
Should we see if we nailed the tone or what?
Yeah, I think maybe for the
Want to walk us through the push-pull here? A little.
that thing maybe for the so it's a series parallel. Mm-hmm. So full humbucker, and then series. What is it? Which one is full humbucker? Is that series or parallel? I can never remember this.
Full humbucker?
Yeah.
Is series.
Series.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so now that's in series. So there is that kind of like.
Nice.
For that. And then the wah. Full humbucker and just roll the volume back a little bit. Kind of like
satisfied.
it's like We don't have like a 335, but that's probably what I would do if I just had like this guitar.
Sure.
You know, but it could be like a 335 with a humbucker.
All right, what they're gonna ask us to do, or you to do,
Yeah.
is to now do your interpretation of it.
I just did.
Floating back and forth between the
Yeah,
series
okay.
parallel.
So 2, 3. Right, and just
Switch it out.
3, or whatever, you know, for that bit, and then for the other part, that's sort of like old school Beatles,
Right.
Rocky Raccoon thing. Or what is that actual song that I'm thinking of?
From White Album?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Is it Revolution? I don't know if.
I don't know. No. Get back.
Get back.
Get
Thank
back.
you. Yeah.
Yes.
It's that get back kind of tone, which would be like full humbucker just with the volume going
Right.
down. But you can go all the way. Harrison riff. Yeah, you know, and kind of rock out a little more. Yeah, I think you could do the whole thing with amp, wah, and a guitar that has a little bit of flexibility. And I think the reverb from the amp is a big part of it too. But again, of course, you get it with the pedal if you need it.
So kids, what did we learn today? Less is more.
Yeah, sometimes. Or not enough. Depends on the gig.
It's almost like a metallic kind of, almost like a flange. Yeah, like that. You know what I'm saying?
I think I'm pretty close.
Yeah, it's really close.
So the main two tones that I'm hearing is and then there's that sort of thing.
Now,
Which
I can-
that one actually, I feel like that one.
Do you want me to dance while you do this? Because that's usually what I do when
Yeah,
I'm not
please
playing.
dance.
Should I
I
do a
like
little
that. Yeah,
interpretive?
yeah.
Yeah?
That's what they want.
I don't want to steal the show because he's.
I would have put this back up to where I had it,
That's a big difference.
but the wah is coming in a little bit hot. So sorry, Dunlop. The reason why I don't use the Crybaby is because it sometimes gets a little too loud when I turn it on.
We can edit that out.
I just want a knob that controls the volume a little bit.
The Dimebag wah has a knob.
The Dimebag wah has a knob.
Just saying. You know,
Well,
if we had used
I guess they solved it.
What kind of wah do you like to use?
I use the hot tone, Hotone. However
Oh,
you say it.
really?
That's Soul Press.
Yes, I know exactly. That's from like Hall E at NAMM.
Dude,
Like, you know.
it is the most underrated pedal out there. Cats don't know.
Yeah, it sounds badass.
The ice caps are melting over here.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Well, I think we're gonna beat him.
Duh. He nailed it. I think. And as his coach, I'll take all the credit. All right, happy place.
So
Happy
how
place.
did it go?
I think that was the best episode of our 3-episode run. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Which is not saying much, but yes, I do. I think they added. It was nice
Talent?
to not have to replicate something that I can't replicate, and then to hear them do it in their own way, and like that. Like,
Yeah.
It's like they really are superheroes. It's
Yes.
like, you know, you think that they would need more time. They're like, that's it. I
They're
got it.
super nice guys.
And they
It was
ate
great.
a salad in between.
Absolutely.
It's pretty awesome. Oh,
Any
for sure.
guesses as to the artist of the song?
I'm never good at this.
Yes.
The Roots.
You son of a gun.
I took his guess.
I said the roots, like my grandmother would say. So yeah, because initially I thought it was the meters or something of that ilk, but Cory was quick to point out that he knew it wasn't them from the drummer.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I caught that too. So I thought it was the roots, but it was definitely obviously something funky and Santa related. So
Appreciate the obvious observations.
Yeah, thank you.
Who was it?
That was Sean Lee's Ping Pong Orchestra.
Sean Lee's Ping Pong Orchestra, my second guess.
I told you that. You know what's funny? I looked at the screen while you guys doing it, and I still didn't know what it was. Like, oh, maybe I'll find out. And it just said MP3 or something. I don't know.
One of these days we'll get it. One of these days.
But it was good. I enjoyed it.
Santa wants to hear Ryan and Cory's version first.
Really cool.
Like the winner.
I thought he was gonna go to Jingle Bells. A little bit of drive there, I hear.
He was running the amp a little hot, like the tone master super. You can kind of dial it down a little bit and then run it hot, so it sounds like it's like a super on 10 would literally blow your pants off.
Yeah.
I know for a fact once. So he did that to get a little hair from the amp. He didn't want to end up using overdrive for a pedal.
Okay.
Even though his Optimist had a little bit of drive going on, but it was pretty.
But you did use
was
the
fun.
Optimist.
We did. Yep.
OD1 or OD2? Because this is from, I believe it's a tube screamer and a con.
Correct. Yep. He hit both, and what he ended up using was more the EQ to kind of bump the mids a little bit. So think of a scooped kind of signal from a Strat into a Fender amp. It's going to be pretty scooped there. So he added some mids back with that. He hit both buttons at once. Some lights happened. I passed out for a minute, and then it came back on, and it sounded really good.
Yep.
And again, I don't know if I would necessarily use this for like a super heavy gain kind of thing, but I mean, even if you had a really dirty amp and you wanted to kick it in the pants a little bit, this is the pedal to do it.
And did you incorporate the compressor? Because you have 5 pedals.
Yep.
I think you told me you used 3.
Yeah,
Which are the 2 that you didn't?
We ended up keeping the C-Moon and the Univibe out just because we wanted a little motion. Actually, we're missing a pedal. We had the JHS Phaser, which was like the 3 series.
The 3 series, yep.
Which is a great sounding, and especially if you're not someone who uses a lot of phase, or it's not a big part of your signal, it's one of those pedals that it's great to have on your board, kick it on for what you need, and then it just gets out of the way if you don't.
But the mix was down quite a bit on that?
Yeah, it was really minimalist. He was like, I want it there, and if I stepped off of it at some point, I would miss it if it wasn't there. But I don't want it to be like Phaser, where it's like screaming at you, thank you. So as is the same with all the 3 series pedals, 3 knobs, and a switch. So we kept it. I mean, you can see the blend is almost on nothing, rate's almost on nothing, and we just kept the width there. This kind of gives you a little bit more throat to the phase. It gives it a little bit more of a kind of going down the barber pole kind of thing. So that's what we ended up using.
What about the reverb though?
Well, the chain essentially was wah into the compressor. Okay. And then the reverb was at the end. Phase and Optimist were like that. And a lot of everything that he used was pretty minimalist, but you noticed it when it was off. And that's a sign of a good pedal to me. So even if it's on a very subtle setting, once you step off it, you were like, nah, it's better with it on. Yeah, it just said, yeah, I don't like to use the word transparent, but, and then a straight up classic, Crybaby GCB 95, nothing special, but it does the trick every time. And what he did was, because he knew that this would give it a lot more treble if he was kind of going the wok, 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 he cut some of the high end with the Optimist and the compressor. He kind of brought it back down a little bit, so it thickened the upper mids without being ice picky.
Okay. This one's made every episode to date. So what
we wanted he
room?
Yeah, he didn't love the reverb on the amp for what we were looking to do. He wanted something just quick with a quick decay. And he used the plate setting, oddly enough. I would have gone for the spring because it, to me, is a typical more Fender-y sound, but he goes, I don't want to use a Fender reverb kind of sound for this. And he was surprised too. He's like, the plate was the one to use. And when I think plate reverb, I think Van Halen 1. I mean, it's all over that stuff.
Yep.
Like I said before when we were talking about it, this pedal,
no, it's a solid
if you don't think you like reverb, this is the pedal to have, because it's every flavor that you could want without making it so wet that you don't hear the note.
Yep.
And then again, it was the sign of him, a good guitar into a good amp. These were just like little chef's kisses at the end, but nothing that made it, never was too over the top.
No, it sounded great. And obviously his Cory Wong Strat was another contributing factor to the signal chain.
Yeah, having Cory Wong playing a Cory Wong Strat made it very wongy, which was good. I was afraid it might be too wongy, but I was Wong, so it worked out well.
Get all that?
Oh, there's people here.
All right, I think we're, are we ready for,
All right, shall
Mr.
we move
Lettieri?
on to Russ and Mark?
that'd be great. He stopped for a second and went right back in. He was outlining all the many parts of the song. That's where he just changed. He did the push-pull.
I don't know if you noticed this throughout the two. He's a good guitar player.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us
what
about
we're marking.
signal chain on that one. But
So-
before we do that, let's
Well, we
talk
could
about
plug it.
Yeah,
We could
let's
plug
talk
it.
about
So-
that pedal.
This is not a pedal that Mark used, and he spoke about it a little bit earlier. It is an incredible overdrive pedal brought to you by J Rocket. It's his Melody. Definitely something he could have incorporated, but from his approach going into this, I wasn't say the opposite, but it was a little bit of the opposite. He went the minimalist approach. So out of all these pedals here, if you're tuning in right now, this is the one that he ended up using, and this is the only pedal that we ended up using. So talk about minimalist. Dunlop GCB 95 wah. It was using the PRS Fiore that we got back there, and we also went through, originally it was gonna be the PRS amp head, but he opted, where is it now?
Bad Cat.
Yeah, the Bad Cat Black Cat.
It's over there.
Over there,
in
he
its
went
litter
through
box.
the clean channel, and he used in, you'll hear on that track, a little bit of reverb that he dialed in from the amp itself. But there's not a whole heck of a lot to comment on in that it was the wah. The less is more approach is what we went with, with this. And I think that his translation or interpretation was everything in the right foot.
We can all rely on talent to make something sound good. The rest of us use
We hide behind
these
pedals.
things. Not that Cory's not talented, because we all know he is, but that's
Absolutely.
the whole point of the game of tones, is to use that kind of stuff.
But we took a different take on it, that's all. I mean, if it puts us
like
in,
you
a,
had something to do
in a
with it.
win or not, that's,
Ordered lunch.
that's not for me to decide.
It sounded good. It really did. And again, you know, it's the age-old adage of like a good player with a good guitar into a good amp. It's like,
Yeah,
well, that sounds really good.
nah. They
should
were
learn
both
how to play
fantastic.
better.
It was a blast.
So Santa and I talked it over. He made his list, he checked it twice, and at the top of his nice list is Ryan and Cory!
Finally!
I guess I'm on the naughty list.
So I think I just knocked Kelly off the table.
Congratulations.
Anytime.
I'm a good loser.
You sure are. I have a lot of people I want to thank. God, my parents. I'd like to think that this will be the high point of Cory's career.
How sad that would be.
Do you want the good news? We won. Cory and I won.
Yeah, we lost.
Do you want to know why it happened?
That's why they won.
That's exactly right. Next time,
Congratulations.
Yeah, we had a biased judge. We'll talk to you later, Mark.
Okay, guys.
Bye, guys. Merry Christmas.
that was nice. I'm not crying, you're crying.
A huge thank you to legends Cory Wong and Mark Lettieri for being here today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and happy holidays from everyone here at AMS.